What if everything you've been told about attracting women is completely backwards? The real answer has nothing to do with looks, money, or what you say. Brother, I'm going to share something today that most men spend their entire lives never discovering. Not because it's hidden behind some paywall or secret community, but because nobody around them ever had the courage to say it out loud. Women aren't mysterious. They aren't puzzles. They are simply responding to invisible frequencies you're broadcasting without even knowing it. No manipulation, no rehearsed lines, no psychological games, just pure, honest truth about how attraction actually works beneath the surface. Because once you truly grasp these 5 deep psychological realities, something remarkable happens. You stop running after her. You stop second-guessing every word. And without any effort, she starts moving toward you. Let me show you exactly why. It is where almost every man goes wrong. It walks into an interaction believing the outcome depends on his words, the right joke, the right compliment, the right question at the right moment. But brother, that's the wrong battlefield entirely. Because women aren't evaluating your vocabulary. They're reading your energy. And here's the moment I want you to recall. You've been there, a conversation that felt alive, she was smiling, responding, the energy was flowing. Then something invisible shifted. Her replies shortened. The warmth evaporated. And you replayed every sentence wondering what you said that ruined it. But here's the truth that changes everything, you didn't ruin it with words. You ruined it with your internal frequency, the silent anxiety broadcasting from somewhere deep inside you. Most men are performing, desperately trying to appear impressive, interesting, worthy. But that performance? Your subconscious detects it immediately. And it doesn't ask, is he successful? It asks one question only, does my body feel relaxed around him or does something feel slightly off? And most men, without realizing it, create that something off feeling constantly. It is the first truth most men genuinely cannot accept. The harder you pursue her, the more her instincts pull her away from you. Sounds completely illogical, doesn't it? But examine it honestly. When you're in pursuit mode, you've already positioned her above you on some invisible hierarchy. And her nervous system registers that positioning instantly, not through logic, but through pure biological instinct. Recall your most recent interaction with a woman you liked. Were you genuinely at ease, or were you slightly wound-tight beneath the surface, monitoring her reactions, adjusting yourself, hoping to land correctly? Because she felt that tension. She couldn't name it. But she felt it. You once observed someone, great career, sharp dresser, deep voice that commanded rooms. By every external measurement, he should have been magnetic. But whenever he spoke to women, his body leaned forward slightly too fast, his laughter came half a second too early, and his opinions mysteriously aligned with whatever she said. What happened every single time? Interés dissolved. Not because he lacked substance, but because his entire energy was quietly begging for her approval. And that single frequency dismantles attraction at the most primal level imaginable. Brother, attraction isn't rational. It's neurochemical. It's firing inside her brain before conscious thought even begins. Which brings us to the first level. Asterisco level 1, her nervous system reads your emotional state before your mouth opens. You could deliver a perfectly constructed sentence and still lose her completely, because if your internal state carries anxiety, she disconnects before processing your words. This explains why certain men say almost nothing yet create powerful magnetism, while others speak brilliantly yet generate zero chemistry. It is a contradiction that will rearrange how you think. Silence is sometimes more attractive than conversation, because silence exposes your emotional foundation. A man comfortable sitting in silence without needing to fill it radiates something her nervous system interprets as genuine strength. But a man who frantically patches every quiet moment with words? That signals something else entirely. And brother, most men patch frantically. Sit with this image. You're with her. A natural pause arrives in the conversation. Most men experience quiet panic in this moment. They accelerate their speech, pivot to random subjects, perform harder. But you simply remain still. Breathing normally. Unurried. Comfortable inside your own skin. And watch what happens. She begins talking more. She leans slightly forward. She starts filling the silence because suddenly, without understanding why, she's the one reaching for your attention. Most men will spend their whole lives never experiencing that reversal. Asterisco level 2, her attraction deepens when she feels genuinely seen, not adequately impressed. This is where men consistently miscalculate. They showcase their best chapters, their accomplishments, their adventures, their highlight moments, convinced this is what builds connection. But what she's actually hungry for is emotional recognition. Someone who notices what she didn't announce. It is a contradiction. Speaking about yourself less makes her feel closer to you, because when a woman feels truly seen, her emotional walls begin dissolving naturally. Not through pressure. Not through strategy. Organically. You've experienced this moment, even if you didn't recognize it. She's talking, maybe about something small, something ordinary from her week, and instead of genuinely receiving what she's sharing, you're internally rehearsing your response. Waiting for your entry point. Preparing your contribution. But in doing exactly that, you missed the actual moment. Because she wasn't just filling conversation. She was opening a small door to see if you'd walk through it. And you walked straight past it. The reality is this: women test emotional depth through whisper quiet signals. Not through direct questioning, not through obvious evaluation, but through tiny openings in their tone, in their pauses, in what their eyes do when they say something vulnerable. And most men are so focused on their own performance, they never even notice the door. Asterisco level 3, her attraction is ignited by contrast, not by steadiness. This will contradict almost everything you've ever been advised. Be consistent. Be reliably available. Be predictable. But predictability, brother, is attraction's quiet assassin. Her brain adapts. When every interaction follows the same emotional temperature, there's no spike, no curiosity, no internal question pulling her toward you. It is a contradiction. Measured unpredictability creates pull. Not confusion, not manufactured coldness, but genuine emotional range. Sometimes you're fully present, warm, completely engaged. Then you naturally return to yourself, not distant, not punishing, just anchored in your own world, your own priorities. And that shift is something strange to her. Her mind begins asking a question she can't quite silence: why do I keep thinking about him? You once worked with someone who made one significant adjustment. He stopped over-communicating. Stopped justifying his time. Stopped maintaining constant availability as though his phone was permanently attached to his hand. He simply became genuinely selective, fully present when present, genuinely occupied when occupied. The result? She began reaching out first. Multiple messages. Questions about where he'd been. Because her nervous system had been quietly activated by something it couldn't immediately categorize. But here's the critical warning. Men hear this and immediately manufacture distance as a calculated move. It collapses every time, because performed detachment feels hollow, and women sense hollow things with frightening accuracy. Which leads us deeper. Asterisco level 4, her subconscious trusts emotional solidity far more than verbal promises. The typical male instinct when sensing uncertainty is to verbalize reassurance. I genuinely like you. I'm being completely real with you. I'm not playing any kind of game. But brother, words don't build trust in her nervous system. Presence does. It is a contradiction. The more you verbally explain your intentions, the less convincing those intentions become. Because genuine certainty requires no explanation. It communicates through how you carry yourself, how you respond under pressure, how you exist when nothing is being performed. Think about someone you've encountered. They said very little about themselves, made no declarations, offered no credentials, yet you felt something solid when you were near them. You trusted them before you understood why. That's what she responds to. Not statements. Not promises. Presence. What people sometimes call masculine groundedness, not aggressive, not theatrical, simply rooted. Centered. Uncertain by things that would normally destabilize. And when her nervous system encounters that quality, something automatic happens. Her guard lowers. Not because she decided to let it down, but because something inside her simply stopped needing it up. Asterisco level 5, attraction reaches its peak when she feels emotionally safe enough to surrender control. This is the truth that almost nobody discusses openly. Women aren't simply seeking attraction. They're seeking the specific emotional environment where they feel safe enough to fully release, to laugh without calculating, to feel deeply without bracing against judgment, to be entirely themselves without managing the experience. This is where genuine chemical connection occurs. And here is the deepest contradiction in everything we've covered: the more complete your self-command, the more completely she can release hers. When you are the stable element in the dynamic, she doesn't need to be. When you are grounded, she has permission to explore the full range of her emotions without anxiety. Picture this scene. A man sitting with a woman is making no calculated moves. No performance running. No invisible scoreboard. Just present. Settled. Genuinely attentive without need or agenda. And slowly, not dramatically, but unmistakably, something shifts in her. Her voice softens. Her posture opens. She moves fractionally closer. She begins sharing things she hadn't planned to share, laughing more freely, holding eye contact a breath longer than necessary, her hand moving unconsciously to her hair. None of that is coincidence. Every single signal is her nervous system responding to the emotional environment you created simply by being genuinely, quietly yourself. Brother, this is the understanding most men never reach in their entire lives. Attraction isn't manufactured. It isn't performed into existence. It's what naturally surfaces when you remove every anxious behavior that was suppressing it. So when you look back, all those moments that didn't unfold the way you wanted, it was never about being insufficient. It was about trying intensely in entirely the wrong direction. And now you see the complete picture. The invisible signals, the subconscious shifts, the neurological responses happening beneath every interaction. This is the separation between men who guess endlessly and men who finally understand. And if something in what you just heard landed differently, if something rearranged slightly in how you see this, then you already feel the shift beginning. Because awareness is where every transformation starts. This is just the foundation. Because next, we're going to expose the specific behaviors that shatter attraction silently, even when everything else appears to be working perfectly. And most men are repeating these behaviors daily without the slightest awareness. Subscribe, not for entertainment, but because this understanding genuinely matters. Brother, remember this single truth above everything else. She doesn't respond to what comes out of your mouth. She responds to what her body feels when you're in the room.